Assalamu alaikum, wonderful viewers. Welcome to another episode of the Political Hour Show here on Eco TV International, the People's Choice, where we invite politicians, youths, and women to discuss about the trending issues in our country here. And today here with me is the logical poet inspired by wisdom. He will introduce himself shortly, but before that, you can kindly follow us on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. Sponsors are also invited. You can call on the various numbers on the screen to sponsor this program. I am your host, Rohita Toure. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam. It's indeed a pleasure to be here once again. My name is Musa A.C. Soho, known as the logical intellect poet inspired by wisdom. I'm a Pan-Africanist, and I'm an activist as well. So once again, it's an honor to be here, and I'm saying a big thank you for the invitation and the honor.
Okay, thank you very much. It's a pleasure indeed being here with me. Well, we've seen that the past days about the protest, which was about this data increasement. What is your take on pure increase in the prices of the internet?
I think it was undone, it was unlawful, it was just an act of barbarism and corruption. You know, it's a theft broad daylight. Poor mean responsibility historically. Okay, it's not to interfere when GSM companies are competing. So definitely it is sad that Gambia is so much entangled with corruption that it has been normalized and tolerized as well. Njoguba is not worth leading any institution in this country.
Really?
And then I would say shamed on you for being corrupt, for being unpatriotic to your citizens. Imagine, GSM companies have long been looting us as Gambians. If you look at the sub-region, Gambia is the most expensive data. So they haven't done anything to make sure that the people or the consumers' rights have been preserved, but then what they are doing and what they are continuing to do is to loot us. And that is why we say no to that. No more to silence, no more. And it was inhumane as well, because when you look at the country, majority of the people here are poor. I'm poor. Others out there are poor. You know, so I think it is sad that our public institution, instead of for them to serve us, they are looting us, and I think that is wrong, and that is why I decided to raise my voice as well.
Okay, well, during the protest at Purest Institution, well, me personally, I've seen you there and your friends, but then the police chased your friends, they caught them and arrested them. At that moment, how do you feel seeing your fellow brothers were arrested by the police for protesting against something that was unlawful?
I wouldn't say the protest was unlawful. Protest is a fundamental human right. Okay? It's where citizens get to stand up and voice their voice or concern to their government, for them to listen and adhere to their concerns. Me seeing my friends arrested, I was pissed off. I was downplayed. I was broken, you know, and I must say it was an horrible experience for me. We went together. At the end of the day, you know, the round when the police came through, for me, I went there knowing that there lies a consequences, and I was willing to pay the price.
Yes.
But you know, sometimes it's just the mentality. So for them, they ran, and then when I stood, the police, you know, chased them, and then, you know, many people were like, who knew me, were texting me, who were there, you just have to move before you get arrested and stuff like that. So at first I ignored their messages, and then I didn't move around the area, but then I sat near a tree where the protest is happening. Okay, the protest is happening around Pura, so there is opposite there is a tree there that is visible. So but then I received a lot of messages in my phone that I should move. Okay, so that is when I moved a little bit, and then I met with a friend, Aisha, the rising poetess, who was also ready to protest. But then, you know, I told her that she should move because she's a lady and she's about to have exams, so if she is arrested, her time will just be wasted. So that is how we moved a little bit. And then the police were coming. I was sitting, and her and Katie, the poetess, two amazing poetess, were like, logically, you just have to move before you get arrested. So for me, I was waiting for anything, because for me, seeing my friends being arrested, it was like I was filled with rage. You know, I couldn't comprehend it. And what crime have we committed? That was what was lingering in my mind. Like, if the government could have stand up against corruption like the way they are standing up against the protesters, Gambia would have flourished. Progress would have been felt, but it's a shame on the government, honestly speaking.
Okay, and how do you feel about people criticizing you? You know, some people were saying that you convinced your friends to go with you to the protest, but at the end of the day, you were not arrested. At first, you were not arrested, but they were arrested.
Yeah.
What is your response to that?
Those who know me know that I've always rendered my voice for Gambia. And I believe I'm a patriotic citizen, that I love my country so much so that I am willing to put my life on the line. It's not just about the hype or anything, but it's just me being exposed to certain information that have equipped me.
Yeah.
You know, that this country cannot move forward without you, me, her, he, or him loving this country. The reason why America is because American citizens have been taught to love their country. And I think the education system needs reform. And I don't blame them, I blame the education system. Because if you see them criticizing me and them saying one or two things, it's because they haven't been exposed to certain things that the school do not teach, or the education system of the Gambia do not teach. I must say I'm awakened today, not because of the education system in the Gambia, but because of my curiosity. So I would say it was a horrible experience, and I wouldn't blame them partly. It's just the lack of knowing. And I think it is high time that we advocate for educational reform, because the only path to progress is instilling love in the citizens to love their country. Yeah.
Okay, then we've also seen that you were arrested and taken to Mile 2 with your fellow brothers. What was your experience during your stay in Mile 2?
During my stay in Mile 2, just to go categorically, when they arrested my friends, you know, after the protest ended, I went to the police station. You know, they didn't allow us to see them. You know, I stood there up to around 7 o'clock when I was allowed to see them, because my conscience couldn't allow me to go back. You know, while my friends are in the cell. So
and you were with them.
I was hungry. I didn't come out with much cash. You know, my phone was also low. Thank God Aisha had the power bank and she helped me charge my phone. So my conscience couldn't allow me. So I waited up to 7, since morning up to 7. Then that is when I saw Ansu and Wafine. You know, it was crazy, honestly speaking. So the next day, Gala called for another protest for their release, and you know, I was ready for it, because I felt like the arrest was unlawful. So we met with Ghetto Pen at Westfield. We were trying to mobilize more people so that, you know, we can go in groups at the end of the day and confront. So as we were passing by to mobilize, that is when we were caught.
Okay.
So that is when we were caught. So it was funny. And then they took us to the PIU. From there, they insulted us. I was talking back at the guy, and Sam insulted me.
Were you manhandled?
Yeah, I was manhandled because they handcuffed me, and when they handcuffed me, the other police officer just, you know, stitched his hand on the handcuff, and it was so much painful. You know, but then one thing I would say, shout out to Ghetto Pen, he was the one advising me to calm down, okay, not to talk back to them, because at the end of the day, these people, they don't respect the law and stuff like that. And then when the guy just told me, fuck up, I said, you don't have the right to insult me. Okay, if you insult me, I'm gonna pay back. And he said, I'll get the hell out of you and stuff like that. And Ghetto Pen was the one. Yeah, exactly. Gambian police, most of them are illiterate, so I don't blame them at the end of the day. So we went, this is how we went to the cell. We slept there for 3 days. It was horrible. So we slept there for 3 days. You
were not fighting with the mosquitoes.
Yeah, the mosquitoes were there. The funniest thing was, my mom wanted me not to go out. That if I go out, I am on my own. She will not come there. So I was in the prison. Nobody came.
Your mom didn't come?
Yeah, nobody came unless my friend. So when I called my auntie and told her, in fact, I was arrested, you know, that day they cooked ebe. I'm heavy oriented. So I told her, don't bring me heavy in the cell. And they were like, I'm foolish. The girlfriend and the rest. They were like, I'm foolish. So she was laughing. And my sister was like, it's good for you. I could hear her. You know, but now she's celebrating me, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, obviously. So we slept there.
You guys are the heroes right now.
So we slept there for 3 days. From there, we moved to the court. It was tense. You know, we plead not guilty because we believe we didn't commit any crime. And from there, we were taken to mile 2. But then at the gate, it was tense. You know, the tear gas was like my first time experiencing a tear gas. It was horrible. I was like, you know, going crazy.
Even me too. That was my first time experiencing tear gas.
Yeah, and then that shows you the lack of awareness of our Gambian police force. I believe they are not that much equipped because there was no altercation or confrontation. So why would they have to pull a tear gas? Especially we were in the car and we didn't have any vote to escape. What about, for me, I have asthma personally. So it was really disturbing me, honestly speaking. And what about some of us who have health conditions who are severe than mine? They could have fainted or they could have even died because of the tear gas. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. From there, we move. Even the driver was crying, the police officer, you could see tears shading in his eyes. And I was like, yeah, this is
it was painful. Yeah. He was just following orders.
Yeah, he was just following orders. I was like, this is crazy. We went to mile 2, they scanned us, you know. First day was horrible. Yeah, it was horrible. But then for me, in my mind, I've already put in my mind that this is my fate. I don't even need anybody to visit me because I'm an adult. I knew what I was doing. And I know that I was on the right track of history. So it doesn't matter if my parents say no or yes, or if society accepts or not, or if friends accept or not, or if they validate or not. But I was, in my conviction, I was on the right track, and me believing that I was on the right track, I was willing to put my neck on the guillotine for it. So that is how it happened, you know, yeah.
Okay, and also during the court hearing, you know, other Gala members and Gomsabopa and other youths that are not even part of the movement also came to the court hearing. They demanded that you people be freed. You won't go to mile 2 and you won't go back to any police station again, or else they all go to mile 2. Okay, and they stand firm. They were fighting for you guys relentlessly, but then they were at the door. They are waiting for you guys. So upon your arrival, you guys, upon your arrival, how do you feel seeing such amount of people there supporting you guys, demanding for your freedom?
I felt like it was amazing. It was an amazing feeling, honestly.
It was a different feeling.
I nearly shed a tear because I knew in every revolution or in every spark of revolution, somebody has to pay the price.
Yeah. And
at first, Gambians were scared. Parents were not allowing their children to go out and protest, to demand change, to demand betterment for the people of the Gambia, because most of our parents are not aware like we are. You send us to school for us to be aware. Now that we are aware, you are questioning what we see that you can see. So it was an amazing feeling, and I feel like there was a new awakening or a new sense of belonging, a new sense of concern from the Gambian people. And that is a step forward. This is what we need. We've paid the price. We've suffered in mile 2 for 2 days and 1 day, you know, I think 5, we were out of there. So you can just sleep at one of your laps like this, you cannot move, and then some of the cell members will be hitting your legs when you want to move and stuff like that. You know, it was crazy. You eat yourself inside the prison. It was smelling smoke, you know.
So it is not conducive.
It is not conducive. Like, even an animal, I wouldn't advise my animal to live in mile 2. Even a sheep, I wouldn't, you know, allow it to live in mile 2. It was horrible, honestly speaking. But we knew that we had to pay the price for Gambians to be awakened, though we are on the edge. But I feel like many people are awakening because the support outside there, the mobilization, you know, and then, you know, it was amazing. It was too much, and, you know, it was an amazing feeling. That's what I could say.
Yeah, and also it was not just the youths that were out there. Even elders
even
were also there.
I saw, you know, mothers, fathers, uncles. You see some of them with their gray hairs, in fact. And I think this is what parents should be doing. When your children, are fighting for the future of this country, all you have to do is support them. It's not easy. Part of fighting for your country means you can lose your life, you might get tortured, you might get brutalized, or you might face many, many challenges. When you look at African leaders who have sparked revolution and who have continued to inspire us and whose voices have continued to resonate with us, it's because of their sacrifices.
Yeah.
It is because of their belief, what they stood for, which was Pan-Africanism. And I believe in order for us to progress, we need to embrace it. And that is what our parents should also be doing to support their children, even if they don't have to pay the price because they have a lot of responsibilities to do. Let them encourage their children. If you can encourage them, don't discourage them. Allow them to fight for their country. And that is what I would say to every parent out there, because I've experienced it to my own parent. She warned me not to go outside. If I go outside, I'm on my own. But I was stubborn enough.
No, mothers are worried.
Yeah. So she was worried. I understand her perspective. My uncle called me. He was bashing me. Why didn't you listen to your mother? Your mother told you shouldn't go. And then and then some will be like, you are just chasing crowd and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But then it is what it is.
Yeah.
Most of them, they just lack the awareness, and I wouldn't blame them for their blatant comments.
Okay, and also during your stay at the Mile 2, we've also heard that you guys were going on a hunger strike.
Yeah.
And we've talked to some of the gala members, and they said that it is true that you guys were going on a hunger strike.
Yeah.
Why do you guys decide to go on a hunger strike?
Yeah, just to be honest, I wasn't going on a hunger strike.
Okay.
Musa Sajang wasn't going on a hunger strike. Hunger strike. I have problem with the government, not with my stuff.
Okay, but there's some we are going on a hunger strike.
Most of them were going on a hunger strike. Most of them.
Okay.
Yeah, most of them like Flex, like Galas. Most of them were going on a hunger strike.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that they were going on a hunger strike. I later knew it, the second day. So, me knowing that they were going on a hunger strike, it was funny, but at the same time, it was worrying. And it was worth it, I guess. It's because those people were willing to put their life on the line for this country to progress. And I believe Gambians should celebrate people like Flex, people like Killer East, people like Ghetto Pen, the Galas. The list goes on. Say, Ablaitib, these people are amazing. And, these are assets of the country. And we should try by all means to support, to make sure that we protect them by all means.
Okay. And what is something that you've learned during this protest and you mingling with other people that have been fighting for the country for a very long time?
Yeah. Those who knew me know that I've always advocated for Gambia. That is why my first album was Gambia It's Time to Change.
Yeah, even through your poems.
Yeah, exactly. So the experience was amazing. Okay, seeing youths coming together with one common goal.
Yeah.
Gambia, we want to see you shine. Gambia, we want to show you progress. Gambia, we want to be a voice for you and fight for you till the end, even if it means losing our lives. That is something huge. And me mingling with them, trying to get to know one another, share our aspirations, our goals, our aims, our objectives, and our purpose was an amazing feeling. And it is unforgettable. It is something memorable, I can say. Yeah.
Okay. And also, we've also seen that you've released a poem about this issue.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, can you please share the poem with us? Maybe even a few lines.
Yeah. Okay. I will just share the first verse.
Yeah.
I will master the poem though.
Even if you have it in your phone, you can. From there.
Yeah. So the poem was inspired by the increasement of the data.
Yeah.
With many Gambians are facing, struggles in terms of, data.
Yeah.
QCell, AfriCell, you finally succeeded in turning Puva against the very people they serve. Puva, you call yourself a regulator, but you regulate nothing but hope. You choke the poor while feeding the rich with silver spoons dipped in Dalasi. You saw Comium feeding the hungry, $5 for 500 MB. That was a lifeline, a miracle for the broke student, the market woman, the taxi driver. but you killed it. Why? Because officer and QCell couldn't stand the sight of generosity. They saw the poor smiling and they panicked. They ran to you and you bow like a servant to their greed. You shut it down not because it was unsustainable, but because it was too humane, too kind, too fair, and fairness is a poison to your profit. You earn millions, yet you still want more. You want the last dollar from the boy selling sachet water, from the girl borrowing her mother's phone to study, from the man who hasn't eaten but needs data to find work. You call it regulation, we call it robbery, you call it fairness, we call it fraud, you call it policy, we call it poverty. Gambia pays the highest in the sub-region. And what do we get? Data that disappears like your conscience. Calls that drop like your integrity, speed slower than your empathy. You don't care, you never did. You sit in air-conditioned offices while the rest of us sweat for scraps. You sip imported coffee while we ration rice and pray for signal. You serve the elite, you serve the CEOs, you serve the ones who already have too much, and you spit on the rest, you spit on the poor, you spit on the future, but we see you. We see the lies behind your press releases. We see the greed behind your policy. We see the fear of a people who are done being quiet. The data one day ends Wednesday. But this is just the beginning. Because when you rob the people, or when you rob the power of connection, you awaken something far stronger than profit. You awaken rage. That's the end of the poem. Yeah. I wrote a poem when I was released about my experience.
Okay.
About the experience as well in terms of.
Let's hear that one.
Yeah. They call us all lawful, woefully like fools, longing for tools to hammer. That we are criminals, stream to be reminded in mile 2. 3 days, 3 nights in police custody. 2 days, 2 nights, 1 day in mile 2. 6 days. Man didn't break. We born, we bled, we didn't bend the band. Blessings blended for the motherland is not blind. They attempt to stitch silence into our hearts, but we scream through scars loud in victims. We are youth with purpose, not puppets for power. We hunger for justice, we hammer corruption. We spit truth in the face of tyranny. We are the voice they fear, the name they cannot erase. This fight is not fashion in action, it's fire. It's forever. The protest won't pause until the system is broken to rot. Serving the people is the goal, not your pockets. Only if you know how it feels. To be hunted for hope, to be punished for protest, to be strangled for standing. My heart doesn't just ache, it explodes. I see my people smuggled, shackled, crushed like toys, crushed like sluts, smashed like criminals. We are strangled like slaughter, painted as predators. While they perpetrate like dictators in suit, feasting on our fear. History isn't shy. Learn from the past is what we taught for the last. We yearn for results while we shy for the fight. It repeats like a course. We learn, we lost, we linger, we yearn, we yield, but no more. We wake up. Sorry. No more. Wake up, ngani mama ben. When the roof rots, you cannot lay gang. They say youths are the future, but I see no future in your silence. Shame on you loudly. Jizul, ST, attack, and the rest of the list. You forgot your voice, a relief for your people. Shame on your silence. Shame on your surrender. Pura, your power is poison. Your hands are heavy with theft. Yal na sutuwa yaga. Cover your shame. Therefore, doi. Enough is enough. Ngeni dengen toy. Don't treat peace while you plunder. Today we cry, but tomorrow we crush. We will roar like thunders in strike. Ngen serve poverty is your product. You ever mulen have mercy, but mercy is running out. Nothing. Send faith bad death. Our faith feeds, while hypocrite in suits, cloak in Islamic shoes, preach purity, practice poison, and profit from pain. This is the deal. This is the date. This is the damage. We fight with fists full of fire. We endure made in slander. Hands paralyzed, painted in field. Hand me hope. What can a statue do but stay? We live like ghosts, but ghosts don't forget. Gala gom sa bopa here, proving you hams on your bob. We hold our own. We own our pain. We protest because we detest this test. Best be a pain for this cause, willing to die for this cause. Ndaxte lii Gambia moo ma ko jaral lu may def ma ñor ndaxte lii sama bakken laa si teg.
Chumway.
Your point, the logical intelligence by wisdom.
Chumway. No, this one is really emotional, and anyone that hears this poem will probably resonate with it.
Yeah, exactly.
Because Gambia, we are all one. We are all the same.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you go to prison, it is like I'm the one there.
Yeah. Exactly.
And that day, when me personally, when I see you guys, you coming there, and then you were inside, but youth were outside. They were even singing the national anthem. That day, I said tears, because I felt it during their recitation of the national anthem. Yeah, but then in your poem, I've heard that you mentioned a few artists' names like Jizul, ST, and others.
And the rest of the list.
Yeah, the rest of the list. Okay.
Not excluding all those who have been silent.
Okay. What do they got to do with this?
Okay, what do they got to do with this?
Yeah.
First of all, you have to understand, all the great artists, or most of the great artists, or 90% of the great artists who have footnoted their names in history books, have always stand for the people who have stand for them. Today, ST is who he is because of Gambia.
Yeah.
Gambians supported him, and Gambia is what makes him to be what he is today until he is enjoying the fruit of his talent. But without Gambia, there are many people who have talent, but then, Gambia doesn't stand for them like they stand for ST, like they stand for Attack, like they stand for Jisul. So I believe when the youths, their fellow youths who have been supporting them throughout, are going through one or two crises or are going through injustice, they should raise their voices. And it is a shame on them for their silence.
So you are disappointed in them?
Yeah, I'm honestly disappointed in them, especially ST, who has also been talking in some of his musics about the struggles of the Gambia. It's like saying what you do not do, and that is why I say being what you end does not justify who you are. Saying what you do not do does not justify what you say. It's just you trying to picture something out there for people to see you that way, but in reality you are not what you claim to be. So I felt like if ST really meant all the songs he have said about poverty, about Fuaria, and about the system, I think he should try to show it as well. They said action speaks louder than
words. Yeah.
Of course. So I was disappointed specifically in ST for not standing up for the youths when the youths' rights were violated. And also Jisul, he's a Gambian. He's been supported by Gambian youth, especially Gambian youth. And I believe when Gambian youths are going through one or two things, he has to lend his voice. Even if you're not out, show solidarity. Your voice has power.
Yeah.
Their voices have power. It's not like me and you. Me and you can talk anyhow, anyway. But people will not even take us seriously.
Yeah.
But if Visual or ST,
others, they have voice.
Yeah, they have the voice. They have the impact. Okay, they have the crowd, and then they have the support for people to listen to them. Okay, for people to hear from them. And I believe if they have lent their voice, you will have seen more crowd than what you've seen.
Yeah. Okay.
So basically, I'm disappointed in them. And Attack also, you are what you are because of Gambians. So I think when something like this happen, if you are not out there or if you are fearful of being arrested, maybe you are a coward. Just lend your voice. We need that. We need that.
You need their voice.
Yeah, the fire has to keep on burning. And I felt disappointed, and that is why I included them in the poem after I was released from Marathon.
Okay, and after that, what was your feedback from this poem?
What was my feedback? Was amazing. And a guy just texted me, why will you include ST? Let's debate about this. I was like, well, I don't have time to debate unnecessarily. And I was just like giving him my reason, and he was like,
might be a fan.
Yeah, he was arguing unnecessarily. So for me, I don't argue unnecessarily. Whenever I'm into pull and push with you, I make sure that I learn from you and you learn from me. Yeah. That is the essence of even debate. So I get a lot of feedbacks. People showed love, people were sharing, and it was an amazing feeling. And Gambians are amazing. Though we have a lot of fake smiles among our meets, but then there are a lot of people who are genuine. And I must say, thank you, Gambia, for standing with us. Thank you all who have take their time to send me their heartfelt messages. I felt proud, and it was an amazing feeling. I love this word, amazing. It was an amazing feeling. And I'm saying to you all, whenever there is a national call, do not hesitate to come out. It's not about you, it's not about me, it's not about chasing clout. It's about the future of your unborn children. It's about the future of your unborn children again. So now is the time for us to fight. We have been fortunate enough to live to this era, and we have to take every opportunity of the momentum to stand up for the country, to fight up for the country, and lend our voice against the injustice that are unfolding in this Mbahal cabinet.
Mbahal cabinet, indeed. Okay, and what is your next move regarding this data issue?
Yeah, our next move is we are discussing internally.
Okay.
So Pura has to revise their decision. You know, they have. So why do you have to suffer for 6 days? You know, and then at the end of the day, the decision is not revised. Njokuba must have to face consequences. But for now, we are taking things slowly because the president has, you know, set a committee to investigate.
Okay.
All right. So I think we should also take our time. Then our next move will depend on what the committee's outcome result is.
Okay.
Yeah, so, but then they have to revise their decision, and that is our stand as people. So, you know, yeah.
Okay, and what if they did not reverse their decision?
If they do not reverse, we took to the streets again. Yeah, we will take to the streets.
Did they be what?
As far as Gala is in solidarity of, you know, standing up against the very principle they've always stood for. As far as Gala is in line with going out to protest to demand the reverse of their decision, I'm in 1 trillion%.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, time is against us right now.
Yeah.
What is your message to Pura?
My message to Pura is...
And the government too.
And the government. Okay, my message to Pura is, you know, you are here to serve the people, not your pockets. You are here to serve the poor, the vulnerable, not the privileged. Okay, Afisel and QCell are earning millions every day. Okay, you don't have to sell your dignity for chicken change. Even if they give you 10 million, it's nothing to them. Okay, but at the expense of how many people? 2-point-something million people. Like, how do you sleep at night? Okay, what are you trying to teach your children? Aren't you guys even ashamed of all these scandals and corruptions? Like your family, you know, hearing scandals here and there. You know, I feel like the people who are involved in corruption have no blood running through their veins. So to Pura, I say you must and you have to reverse your decision. We cannot afford what you are trying to, you know, regulate here. You know, and then what baffles me more is when Pura command the GSM companies not to sell 1 gigabyte less than $50. You know, that is why I say corruption is worse than a cancer. It's a malarious sickness. It's a malarious sickness that is entrained through their veins. And once one gets exposed to it, it's hard for one to let go. So, you know, they have to reverse, and that is our stand. And from there, the Gala leadership will discuss the next move, and then we are in solidarity with whatever they decide. For me, I'm just a normal person, okay? But then I'm behind them full time. If they decide we have to protest again, I will be in, and if they decide not, you know, I will just, you know my boundaries. But then I'm telling you all that, you know, this Sunday, I'm organizing with my team, the logical dream of intellect, the spirit of Pan-Africanism. We're organizing our grand meeting, which is to inspire the youths to do poetry in a way that benefits the people, which is to inspire, to impact, to raise awareness, and to awaken consciousness, to also instill patriotism in the Gambian people. So this Sunday at Kasumai Beach, I'm inviting all of you to come out in your large numbers and experience something memorable. Yeah. And you are invited as well.
I'll be there, inshallah. Okay, and what is your advice to the young people out there? Because, you know, 2026 is just at the corner, and there'll be election, inshallah. So what is your advice to the people?
Okay, I will quote from one of my poems, which is to the government. Okay? But first, I will start with the Gambians. Gambians, let's just be honest. Majority of us know that we wake with empty pockets, with no socket
Brokenness.
to charge our pockets. Because this government is a rocket that destroys hope and dreams, leaving the poor to suffer in silent screams. And that is why loud we mime in songs of grief. So to all Gambians, I would say, open your eyes, see through the lies, for corruption has blinded their hearts. It's time to rise, to demand a change, to sever the ties. Let them drop their neckties and retire, because the cries of change are loud, the suffering is real. Let 2026 be the year we finally heal. At the ballot box, let our voices be heard. For the broken contract cannot be fixed until unless change is realized. So I'm advising all of you to come out and secure your voter's card and vote against corruption, and vote against injustice, vote against lack of accountability, and vote against mismanagement of public funds, and vote for your future. Because your voice, your voter's card is your voice. And then, you know, that is all I got to say. Stand up before it's too late.
Okay. Thank you very much for joining us today.
Yeah.
It is indeed a pleasure me having you here today. Well, guys, this is the end of the program, which is the Political Hour Show here on Eco TV International with me, Roheti Tura. And today my guest was the logical poet inspired by wisdom. Inshallah, till next week, inshallah. But don't forget to subscribe to our channel, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube for more updates. Till next week, inshallah.